Recently, I asked Google, what age do we make the smartest financial decisions? And I saw this 2022 financial literacy study that found we make the smartest financial decisions at age 54, and then it starts to decline. At around that age, we've accumulated knowledge and life experience about money, spending, saving, and investing, but we haven't lost any of the key analytic and cognitive skills that typically happen as we get older. Your early 50s are the time in your life where we make the fewest financial mistakes. Only 5 more years to go for me and I'm there. Yes. Now, as we get older, we rely more and more on past experience, the mistakes, as well as what we've learned from them. I know much more now than I did in my 20s about personal finance, both because of the education and the life experience. Your life experiences help guide you about which strategies and rules of thumb to follow and which are hogwash. Now, this isn't to say you can't make good financial decisions in your 20s and 30s, and many of us do, but you have to compensate for a lack of real-world experience by learning and absorbing best practices from those who've already been through it, and then figuring out how they apply to you. For instance, if you're in the top 5% of earners for your age, then maybe rules of thumb for the other 95% might not apply the same. Now, there's no better teacher than life, and the sooner you focus on learning about personal finance, the less mistakes you make and the more amplified your good decisions become, because you have time on your side for those decisions to really compound. When we are in our 20s and 30s, we are very good at absorbing and processing new information. Use that ability while you have it to absorb as much about personal finance as you can to make up for your lack of experience. And as you age, you accumulate more and more knowledge and experience about what works and what doesn't. You see more successes and failures from family and friends. You understand what you're good at and what you aren't. You also have more hubris and often realize asking for help isn't a bad thing, especially if they walked in your shoes. Look, we all make financial mistakes, but we make fewer of them at age 53. In fact, a study from the Brookings papers, economists looked at financial choices made by adults in 10 financial areas, including things like home equity loans, lines of credit, mortgages, and credit cards, and how those decisions affected fees and interest payments. They found that fees and interest payments across all 10 areas are at their lowest levels around age 53. And that's really important because your mid and upper 50s are usually your highest earnings years. That's when employers think you have the most value. And that's also when you can do the most damage or accelerate your net worth the most. Now, that age was referred to as the age of reason in the study, or the point at which financial mistakes are minimized. But what happens when you pass that point? Well, as you move forward, additional life experiences don't add up as much value. Sure, they incrementally do, but the biggest benefits have already been learned. And as you move into your 60s and beyond, unfortunately, you start making additional financial mistakes. You process information slower and find it much harder to accept new information that may contradict what was previously learned. One financial mistake 50-year-olds tend to make involves underestimating their life expectancy, and I hear it often, usually because some smaller but chronic health conditions develop. Oh, I'm not going to live that long, so I don't need to be as concerned. And that can lead to potential planning mistakes about retirement cash flow. A typical 50-year-old expects to live until age 76, but actuarial estimates have that person living an entire additional decade to age 86, and that's on average. And a 2020 study in the US found that 28% of adults 50 and older underestimated their life expectancy by at least 5 years. Why is this important? Well, in my experience, when clients list out retirement goals to me, number 1 or number 2 is not outliving my money. If that is a goal of yours, it's best to be more conservative in your assumptions and assume a longer life expectancy. Run planning scenarios that show you living longer lives and see what your success rate is. Then, if you're comfortable with it, you have a plan that works for you. Are you curious about other financial mistakes people make? Well, watch this video next so you hopefully don't make similar mistakes.